This is Irontrader. It is Monday morning, so it is time to go to work. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold and silver, crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look here at the NQ, which is up above $1.47. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock, not ETF. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, first on the docket here, we have Bitcoin. Now you can see how Friday we made this nice higher high of 125.025. I'm sorry about that. We did not make a higher high. Today we made that higher high. This is what we're looking at right here. The top of that candle, 125.200. We came in pretty close on Friday. And today we're sitting here at 125.450. Now you got to hold that level. That's going to be key. But see this blue line here? These are the price channels. We're starting to get outside that price channel. So if it comes in a little bit and consolidates, a little sideways action, that's not going to hurt at all anyway, okay? So usually when we have this double top, see how we had that double top situation, then she fell right on down. When you retest that double top, most of the time you break right on out there. They call it a triple top, but realistically you break right on out and it does go higher. So what we're looking for here, if it keeps right on running, is we're looking for that 130 mark. Okay, now it's not going to go directly right there. You know, you'll hit that 126, 127, but I'm looking for that 130 and then maybe even 135 level here. So let's just take one day at a time kind of a situation, okay? So what we're watching here right now, we're sitting at 125, 105, so we're right below. We have to close above this 125, 200. That's going to be very, very crucial. Very, very crucial on a closing basis. We have to close back above it. We can't just pop and drop situation, okay? Now, I said we start selling off here, okay? Well, then what we do is we watch these key levels at 125, 200. We're going to be watching this level here, 123, 615 level, okay? And that's then we'll be just go in reverse of what we normally do, okay? 122, 955 level. Then we'll be watching right here, 121, 255. Then we just follow these candles all the way down here. You got 124.05, and then we're looking for the top of that candle, 119, 145, and then we'll look at the top of this candle here, 118, 295, and then we'll be looking right here for that 8-day, okay, at that 117, 323. Now you can see how nice that 8-day crossed the 21-day, crossed the 50-day. Now that's going to rally right up, and that's going to provide very, very good support if this does pull back, okay? Now look at the 21-day, also crossed that 50-day. Very, very nice. That's very, very bullish. Now, your RSI is only sitting here at 66, so this has room, definitely room to run. And look at your green is over your red. Now, again, this could get to an overbought condition. It doesn't necessarily have to be like right there and then come right on off. It can stay overbought, just look like what gold and silver is doing, which we'll look here in a little bit. Okay, so for right now, what we really need to do is we need to close above the top of this candle, 125, 200. If we do, then we can start going leveling up higher. I'll be looking for that 130 level here over time. Now, we look here at a weekly chart. There's that double top situation, but you got to get right above it. Even though we popped above it, that's be very, very key that we have to close back above that. Now you can see here how that 8-day was rolling over, but it never crossed that 21-day because you don't want it, because then this is the result kind of situation. So it kind of is curled right back up, and now she's moving up very, very nicely. So you can see here how this 21-day, see how nice it held that level and came all the way down here. Yeah, and they closed below, but last week here, just a big green candle, just determined to go on up situation. Now, on this sell here, there was $1.5 billion in sales. That's why this came right on down. But this candle here was a tail, okay? See this red one? See how nice we're holding that 50-day? Then we put that lower high in, and that lower low, we closed below that 8-day and 21. That was the first tail. And then we came all the way down, bear flag situation, and then all the way down again here. But then we had that indecision candle, and then boom, look at that nice green candle, and it popped right up nicely here, see? So that's why you want to trade that, always want to trade the charts. But when you look at this weekly chart, you got bottom left, upper right, there's nothing bearish about this at all. This is just very, very bullish, and eventually I think we're going to come up here and crack above this. We need to close above that 125, 200, then we take that bad boy higher. Now, looking at RSI here, 65, there's plenty of room to run. The green is starting to cross over your red, so this could push up much higher. Now, again, it looks like Bitcoin is running up here with the with the gold and the silver. They're breaking out also. And Bitcoin looks like I think people, you got to put your money somewhere. And I just think people are flocking here to the Bitcoin situation. So for today, just watch that candle right there, 125, 200. You need to close above that. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, gold here breaking out again. See, I said just watch that 8-day. Now we are sitting here nosebleed area, but that shows very, very strong commodity going on here. Okay, but as long as we're above that 8-day, okay, we're going to go sideways to up action. So you can see how it came down. We're holding it, and now it broke through this price channel. So on downside, you got to hold that 39.23. That's going to be very, very key. Okay, if that's lost, we come down to today's low at 39.09, and then we're looking here for that 38.71, your 8-day. And then obviously we have your 21-day, and we can venture all the way down. But you can see here right now where we closed back, we're going above that 39.23, 39.67. We hit as high as 39.73 today. I'm looking for that 4,000, maybe 4,000, overshoot it by 4,020 area before we consolidate again. Okay, you can see how they wanted to push it down. When we were down here, you can see here how they had 37, 15. I said, we're looking for that 37 level. Okay. And then it popped up here. Then we popped all the way up here. Like I said, you're looking for that 38.20 level. You got 38.24, right? Then we popped all the way up here. I said, you're looking for that 39.20 area. Got 39.22. Now it just looks like you were looking for that 4,000 level, maybe 4,020 level situation. Okay. Very, very strong. The green is still over your red. And this looks to get higher. On the downside, I say just watch that 39.23. That's going to be the key. That's the breakout. We lose it, we can come all the way down to that 8-day. But as long as that price is above that 8-day, it's sideways to up action. Okay, silver, pretty much the same thing. Okay, so you can see here, holding that 8-day very, very nicely. And we're breaking right on out here again. Okay, see 48.59. Obviously, your next level is 49. But realistically, I think they want to take it to that 50 level. That's what I'm shooting for here on the silver, looking for that 50. Now, you can see here we're sitting at that 78. You're very, very strong, but you got to be very, very careful up here. Eventually, this turns. And what happens with gold and silver is once it flattens out, it just stays there for years and years and years, just flatline. But right now we have a government shutdown kind of a situation. So all the stuff that's like a fear factor that I always call fear factor, like gold and silver, are running up here, and I think that's really what's going on here with the old Bitcoin. That's another one that's going up there very, very nicely here. Okay, so if you're trading it, I use GLD for the gold, SLV for the silver. But as long as we're above that 8-day, we're going to be going higher. Now on silver here. Okay, I'm looking for that 50 mark. Now, on the downside here, we want to make sure that we hold that the top of that candle, looking at that roughly that 48 mark on a closing basis. If not, we come down here down to the 47 mark, which is your 8-day. Then we lose that. We come down to the bottom of that candle, looking at 45.71 level. Then we can come venture to the top there. You're looking at 44.77, and then we come down 44.40 level. But right now, basically, bottom left, upper right, we're venturing right on up here until it's just no more. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil and natural gas. Here we have crude oil. Here we have natural gas. Okay, now you can see here, this is the line that we're looking at here, holding out at 61.45. Okay, so you can see here how we put it low end of 60.40, and then Friday's candle, we had like a topping tail, didn't really know what the heck to do. Now today, we have a green candle. Okay, so we're up here a little bit. Now remember, OPEC had their meeting over the weekend, and they're going to add 137,000 barrels per day come November. Okay, so they're still adding the oil. They're still pouring the crude right onto it. Okay, now as much crude as you're pouring on. Okay, the price really isn't going down that far. It seems like if you're dumping crude on here, this would be down in the 30-40 range. You know what I'm saying? So you're adding a lot of crude oil, but the market is pretty well very well oversupplied here. So let's just give it a day. Usually after the meeting, it just wants to kind of run up. Now let's just take a quick review. Now, what we have is we had this high right there of 66.03. Then we had this high of 66.42 level. See how we had that double top situation? Okay, see that double top? And then she couldn't hold it, and then she came right on down. Then we put it in a lower low situation. Now we're trying to rally up. Now the big time resistance is going to be right here. It's going to be this 8-day at 62.64. Then we have your 21-day right above that at 63.01. Then your next level is going to be 63.91, your 50-day, and then 64.80 and then we come up the top of this candle here, looking at 65.40, and then realistically we can have that 66.61 level. That is going to be your 200 SMA here, and the top of that candle 66.42. But I would say that we'd probably retest that area if it keeps rallying on up here. But right now, we want to watch is that 8-day. Very, very key, and that 21-day. You get above that, then we can hit that 50-day, but that's going to be very, very strong resistance here off of this double top situation. Okay, now and the downside. Well, you're watching this level here again. Okay, so you want to go right back to that 61.45 level. That's going to be very, very key. Okay, then what we can do is we can aim for that 60.40 level. Now we start losing that. Your big target is going to be right here at that 59.74. Okay, and then we lose that. Big target is going to be 57.74. Then your big target 55.12. But we have to close below that 60.40 now in order to do that. So RSI, this is not overbought or oversold, came right on down. It never got to an oversold condition, and now she's trying to rally back up. The green is still below your red, but we got like a sideways action. But just remember, after that OPEC meeting, the news is already out kind of a situation. We already know what they're going to add. But going into this time frame, well, I just think, this here is going up, hit resistance, but I really believe by the end of the year, you're going to be down in the 50 level. But let's just see how that shakes out. Okay, natural gas. Well, not gas here. Okay, we had this double bottom. See how this, I always point out that gap in that fill. That low was 277. We come over to this low, what do we have? 277. See that nice double bottom? It doesn't have to always fill the gap, but the gap is, okay, key support. Then once you get below that, then we can go to that support, the next level, which is the fill at 2.74. That's why I always point that out. But that's not what happened. Rallied right on up here. Then we had the contract rolled up here, and then look, we had the topping tail situation. Now, came right on down here on Friday. Okay, this was Thursday. This was Friday. Well, look at it. Right down to that 8-day. Okay, look how nice that is. Now she rallied up right to the 200-day. Okay, look at that. See? So now we got a ping pong action between the 8-day. Okay, that 3.29 and that 200-day at 3.48. Now, we crack above that 3.48, then your next level obviously is going to be 3.58 right there. Okay, we get above that, we're going to come right to the left of the chart, and then we'll be looking right here for this 3.62 level. Okay, that's going to be your next. Now, again, if you can rally up above this 3.62 level, then we just bring this right across. Okay, that's what you got, 3.75. Then we always look to the left, 3.84, then 3.88. 3.94, 4 flat, and then we have up here roughly, say 415 level. Okay, but we have to get and close back above that 200-day in order to do that. Okay, so very, very strong. So you can see here, we never got to an overbought condition. Okay, and then we came right down. Now we're trying to retest it. The green is over your red, looking very, very good. But again, it's going to be this 200-day, which stopped it cold like it did on this candle here and did like this. Just because we popped up. You couldn't close. That's how strong that 200-day is at that 3.48. Okay. Now, downside here, well, we want to do just the opposite. Okay. So you want to look at the bottom of that candle, 3.40. That's your support level. Okay. We'll look at the top of this candle, 3.35. And then we're going to be looking right there at that 3.29. Very, very key. We lose that. We have right here, we have that 3.24. There's your 100-day. Okay. And then we come down to the top of that candle at 3.19 level. Then we come right down to the bottom of this candle right there at that 3.12. There's your gap. Okay, top of that candle is your fill at 296, but we have that 21-day and that 50-day. But the 8-day, cross the 50-day, cross the 21-day, cross the 100-day, so you can see how nice that support is. See how nice that is? See, that's why you want to trade the charts. Look at that. Came right onto it, and boom. I took a nice trade in UNG yesterday after hours. Nice. Because UNG, remember, that's 24 hours. You can start trading from Sunday night, okay, all the way to Friday, 24 hours a day. Just like you can do the UCO for the crude, the SCO for the crude, the KLD if you want a short thing. So the 24 hours really, really looks really, really good. Okay, so yeah, it was a little interruption to my watching football last night. Yeah, I get that. However, took the trade in UNG up there nicely here today. Okay, so that's how you want to trade it. But now we got to see what's going to happen at that 200-day. Can we going to go blast through that and hit that next level, and then maybe hit the next level, or is this going to go sideways action? Okay, let's take a look here at the NQ. All right, here we have the old NASDAQ futures. Okay, so you can just see here it just ripped right on up. Everything is moving up very, very nice. My TQQ closed out at 104.70. You're already up to 106.80. Okay, so you're up there 2 points there just over the weekend very, very nicely. So what we're watching here on the NQ is 25,196. Okay, that is going to be your top right there, 125,196. You crack above that, obviously, then we could go to that 25. 500. That could be a target. You can go to 26,000. Okay, very, very easily. Okay, so we don't know exactly where it's going to be, but just watch that 25 196. On the downside, you want to watch right here, 24,907. That's your 8-day. We lose it. We have the 21-day. 24,602. We lose that. You have 23,985. And then we could come down here, all the way down here to your 23,119 level. Now, we do have the negative divergence going here, but it doesn't seem to be playing out. You can see how strong, okay, this is. Nobody wants to give up the ghost. Okay, and usually in this time frame, the last week of August, September, and the first week of October usually is the worst time for stocks. But actually, this year has been the best time. So again, even when you look at like a 20-year period, every year is just a little bit a different situation. But we just kind of watch this negative divergence that we have going on, and watch that 25,196. We crack above it, then we got blue sky. Okay. That's what I got for you. I'll be back here after the old, I'll be at midday trading, and we'll take a look here at some stocks. A lot of stuff is moving here. Very, very nice. Look at Tesla. Close out at 429. Now you're sitting at 440. Okay? Very, very nice. All right. Trade what's in front of you. Now what you want.